Now I want to turn to Matt Miller, former chief spokesman for the Justice Department during the Obama administration. Matt, thanks for joining us tonight. It is a strange time in the world in this, and this, I won't call it the calm before the storm because it's anything but calm, but we're looking at a week next week that could be, and the coming weeks in November that could be hugely consequential. Merrick Garland is no stranger to political reality. What do you make of, first of all, what do you think his best options are here? There is talk of a potential special counsel appointment. Do you think that is a viable option? Do you think that's a good option for Merrick Garland as he tries to navigate the politics of all of this?
Well, I can understand why they would consider it, because certainly once Donald Trump is a declared candidate for president, there are people who are going to question the integrity of an attorney general of the opposing political party investigating him as a declared candidate. But I think it would be unwise. The reason to do it is to bring unquestioned integrity to the investigation and instill public confidence. But let's be honest, the people who are supporters of Donald Trump aren't going to believe that this investigation is fair, no matter who is conducting it. Merrick Garland could appoint Bill Barr as the special counsel, and Donald Trump would say it was a witch hunt against him, and the people that want to believe that are going to believe that. And it would be fine to go down that path if there weren't downsides to appointing a special counsel. But I think there are some practical and political and governance reasons not to do it. The most important is a practical one, that with him running for president, the thing that the Justice Department needs to have at top of mind is speed. They need to move quickly, because the political and the legal calendars start to interact with each other in ways that are really complicated and really unhealthy. If you think about the case potentially being indicted, let's say it was indicted in the spring. If you were indicted in the Mar-a-Lago case in March or April, you're looking at probably a year until trial. So then he would be coming to trial in the spring of 2024, right in the middle of the Republican primaries. If he were convicted, he would be sentenced sometime over the summer, maybe the fall, right in the middle of a general election if he's the nominee. And then you have this kind of bizarre scenario of if he was sentenced to jail time, having to report to jail, maybe around the time of the election or in the period between election and inauguration. So it gets really complicated. And what that means is the Justice Department needs to move quickly. And it takes time to appoint a special counsel. It takes time for them to hire staff and go through the case files and the legal theories. So I think it would be a mistake for a number of reasons, most importantly, that practical one of speed.
So what is the utility of kind of floating this idea that they're considering a special counsel if it's not really a viable option, if it doesn't actually alleviate any of the political pressure on Garland or Biden for that matter?
Well, I suspect they might actually be considering it. I don't know that they meant to float this. There's some very good reporters reporting on the Justice Department that might have dragged this out. They probably are weighing it because there is an attraction to it. Look, if you're the Attorney General, you're thinking, I'm going to come under all this criticism. The way I can make this decision look more fair and I can instill public confidence in it is to make sure, let's say I appointed a Republican to be the special counsel, and then people will know that I've accepted a recommendation from a Republican appointee. It can't be questioned as unfair. But I have to tell you, there are kind of political and governance reasons not to do it as well. The political reason, I'll just say, anytime a special counsel is appointed to investigate a president, or in this case, a former president, it automatically becomes kind of seen in the public eye as a match between that prosecutor and the president. Think of Ken Starr versus Bill Clinton, or Mueller versus Trump. This would be the special counsel versus Trump. Versus if it's a U.S. attorney and AUSAs, assistant U.S. attorneys who bring cases in their districts against people all the time, then you're just having Donald Trump be treated like every other citizen of the United States, investigated and prosecuted for crimes just like every other citizen. You don't have this same kind of political target placed on a special prosecutor's back in the way that we saw Donald Trump put a target on Bob Mueller's back and mobilize his allies in Congress and mobilize the right-wing media against him. He'll do that anyway against the Justice Department, but I think it's a little different if you just have career prosecutors handling this case in the normal order of business.
Yeah, denying Trump the straw man seems critical in all of this. What's your expectation in terms of a criminal indictment for Mar-a-Lago, given the fact that Kash Patel was interviewed yesterday, the sort of high priority targets, if you will, are all they're in the mix at this point. That, I think, to the outside world signals that this thing may be coming to a close. Do you think Merrick Garland is going to issue an indictment this month?
I don't know about this month, but I think an indictment is overwhelmingly likely. If you look at the facts of this case, the former president clearly had knowledge. He clearly had intent. And it's a mishandling of classified information case where there is something else. There always has to be a something else, either disclosure of a number of documents or sharing them with people who shouldn't have them, or obstructing justice. And I think there is very clear evidence that he tried to obstruct justice in this case. I think the evidence is pretty conclusive. And so I suspect that once the election is over, you may not see an indictment this month, but you're going to see the Justice Department move to continue to call witnesses before the grand jury and maybe take some more overt steps that they haven't taken to try to move pretty quickly to bring an indictment in this case. If not this month, I think in the very coming months, because look, Merrick Garland is not unaware of this political calendar that I laid out at the beginning, how that interacts with the legal calendar. He can't be unaware of the need to move quickly in this case. And given the facts that they've already gathered, I think they have the ability to move quickly, and I think that's what you'll see them do.
There is a lot coming up this month, a lot of known unknowns. It is going to be a very interesting time to be alive. Matt Miller, former chief spokesman for the Justice Department during the Obama administration. Thanks, as always, for making the time and sharing your wisdom with us, Matt.
Thank you.